Hello and welcome. Today, we are digging into a really important piece of Indian legislation, the Protection of Civil Rights Act of 1955. Now, this isn't just any old law. Think of it as the engine built to make a fundamental promise from India's constitution actually work in the real world.
All right, so how are we going to break this down? We're going to look at 5 key areas. First, we'll see how this right became a law in the first place. Then we'll get into exactly what the act forbids. After that, we'll check out the punishments, see how it's all enforced, and finally, we'll understand its ultimate power. Let's get started.
So where did this act even come from? Well, its origins go straight back to Article 17 of the Indian Constitution, the part that officially abolished the practice of untouchability. But just saying something is abolished isn't enough. This act was the tool created to give that idea real enforceable power.
The act kicks things off by defining exactly what it's talking about. Under this law, civil rights are defined as any right a person has because untouchability was abolished by the Constitution. And that's the key right there. This definition ties everything else in the act directly back to that one single constitutional promise. It's the foundation for the whole thing.
Okay, so we know why the law exists, but what does it actually make illegal? This is where the act gets really specific, laying out the kinds of disabilities it was designed to wipe out from daily life.
And what's really interesting is where it starts, with religion. Section 3 makes it a crime to stop anyone from entering a public place of worship, from praying, or from using sacred waters just because of untouchability, a very strategic place to begin.
From there, the act moves from the sacred to the social. Section 4 casts a super wide net. It makes it illegal to block someone's access to pretty much any public space you can think of. We're talking shops, hotels, roads, wells, public transport, even the right to live in a certain place.
And it doesn't stop there. The law pushes right into economic and professional life. It's illegal to refuse someone admission to a hospital or a school. It's illegal to refuse to sell them goods or provide a service. And it's illegal to discriminate in hiring. And this is so important. Section 7A also makes it a crime to force someone into jobs like scavenging because of untouchability.
So the rules are pretty clear, but a law is only as good as its consequences, right? So what happens if you break these rules? Well, this is where the act shows its teeth.
For most first-time offenses, we're not just talking about a little slap on the wrist. The law demands a minimum of 1 month in jail, which can go up to 6 months. And that's on top of a fine. It's designed to be a serious deterrent from the get-go.
And you can see here, the law gets way tougher if someone doesn't learn their lesson. If you're convicted a second time, the minimum jail time jumps to 6 months. A third time, it's a minimum of 1 full year. The message is clear. The law does not tolerate repeat offenders.
But it's not just about jail time and money. The act has other powerful consequences. A court can actually suspend or cancel someone's professional license if they're convicted of refusing service. And if an organization that gets government funding is found guilty, well, that grant money can be suspended or even canceled entirely.
Okay, so what makes this act so effective isn't just the penalties. It's the very clever and unique ways it's designed to be enforced to make sure justice is actually served.
Now, this is a fascinating tool. It's called a collective fine. Here's how it works. If the government investigates and finds that the people in a certain area are basically helping or allowing these offenses to happen, they can fine the entire community. It's a way of saying that everyone has a responsibility to stop it.
And the act doesn't just punish wrongdoing. It puts the responsibility squarely on the government to be proactive. States are required to provide legal help to victims, to set up special courts, to appoint officers to oversee these cases, and even to actively search for areas where these problems are still happening.
Now this, right here, this is a legal game changer. Section 12 creates a presumption in court. It means that if an offense happens to a member of a scheduled caste, the court has to assume it was because of untouchability unless the person accused can prove it wasn't. It completely flips the usual burden of proof.
All right, last section. So what gives this act its ultimate power? Its trump card, if you will. What happens when it bumps up against other laws or centuries-old traditions?
And here it is, plain and simple. Section 16 basically says this act is the boss. Its rules will win out over anything that contradicts them, whether that's another law, a custom, or a tradition. When it comes to the rights this act protects, it has the final say. End of story.
So when you put it all together,
From its constitutional roots to its specific rules, its tough penalties, and its clever enforcement tools, you see a really thorough, powerful law. But it leaves us with a huge question, doesn't it? What does it truly take for the words written in a law to become the lived, everyday reality for every single person?